press run. First you need to select here survey form and then run test and see, woohoo, 17 tests are passed now. Hello, today I'm going to help you to create a FreeCodeCamp survey form. If you see here on my right screen, this is the original FreeCodeCamp survey form, and on the left screen this is the form that we are going to create today. So let's start. If we just navigate to this tab here, or this is a list of user stories that we have to add to our code as is given by FreeCodeCamp instructions. We have around 16 different user stories for this survey form, and we are going to follow here this code bin, and we are going to open this new tab, and we have here this code bin area where we are going to add our code. And I will switch on the right screen to have the page that we are going to create, and we'll keep this one as a reference to guide us to build our code. So we will close this area of JavaScript, we are not going to use it, and also I will close this area of CSS. For now we are not going to use it too, just to have more space on the left side where we can write our HTML code. So let's start writing our HTML code. So I'm going to write the parent for each content, and I'm going to bring the children content. I already created that code. I'm going to spend the time explaining it instead of writing it. So let's start adding the first div with the class main, and just close this div. This will be a parent for all the content, for all the form page content. Then inside here we are going to add first two element, which if you see here on our right side we have this main title or heading, and also we have this description or paragraph. So I will just paste here. So which is the first one will be h1 with an ID of title, and the second one will be paragraph element, HTML element, and with the ID of description. And the next section will be the form container itself. So I'm going to add another wrapper for all the form with the div HTML element and with the class. We're going to use the class later for adding the CSS. It will be just called main content, and just close this div. And then inside we are going to add another div for our form content, div with the class it's called form content, and just close this div. And then inside here we are going to bring our form content. So we'll start first by adding the form itself, HTML element form, and with an ID it's called survey dash form, and then just let's close it and just open space in between, and let's just bring the first these three inputs with their labels. So I will just bring the code for the first three element or first three inputs. So I'll just tidy the code to make it more readable, and just give more space down and top. So here this first label, it will be just displaying the first label as a name and its input. So this label has a for attribute to identify for which input it will be this label, and we have an ID with the name dash label. This has been required one of the FreeCodeCamp user story, And we have input has an ID name that it will be matching for. It has to be matched for value, and also has a type of text. So the text when we're typing inside, it will be appearing as a text. And also it will require, basically, when press submit button on the bottom of the screen, it should be asking us to fill the input. And also the placeholder will be having just default text, will be enter your name, to be displayed as you see here on your right side, and also if you see in here down screen. The second label, and with the second input for the email, and with an ID called email label and value of email. And the input itself has ID also. Email it has to be same as a for value. Type it will be email, so this will help us when we try to enter an email, invalid email, it will fire an error. It is also required, basically, when we press submit button, if this email input is empty, it will give us an error message to fill the input. And also has a placeholder to just has a default value, enter your email. And the third one has also label as a with a value for its number, and also ID number label. And the text just will be enter your rate from 1 to 10. And the input has an ID as a number and type number, so basically this should be only accept number. We can't write a text, only a number. And also it has min and max. This it will enforce the user to enter a number from 1 and to 10. It's required. A user has to enter a number to proceed to next step, and also has a placeholder with the default text, enter your rate. So this is the first three labels. Let's bring the third one, which drop down, select. Just down here, let's add new space and drag it down, and yes, tidy the line up. And the label just representing the description of this select, and with for also attribute, it will be called drop down, and the same should be matching the select has an ID called drop down. And this for accessibility and screen reader. So this for advanced things, for a beginner, sorry. But when you get to good level, you understand why we have to get this for value and ID value same or match. And also this select has around 5 options with a different role. So basically it will allow the user to select one of these rows. And also each role has a value. It has to have a value, and also has the default string that to be displayed for the user. And if we move to next, if you see here before moving, we can show list of roles that we can select from. If we move to next, radio area, so I can bring just this code for the radio and just give more space down after the select. Just have more space to make this more readable. I will just try give a space between, make it more readable. So when we need to have a list of radio to be like multiple radio, but we have to check one of them. We can't check like multiple. If you see here, can check only one. And this scenario, then we need to wrap all of them with a field set, and also this inside it will have legend as a to display the description of this radio. And also we have the first one with the input and type radio, and name should be recommended. And the first one has checked this. By default it will be checking the first radio and or input, the first input, and also with an ID which is be definitely, and the value is definitely, and label also has a for attribute to be definitely and to be same as input ID. And if we move to the next one, also has a type of radio, and with a name it will be recommend, and also an ID maybe, value maybe, and label with a for attribute has also a maybe as a value. And if we move to the last one, so which it will be input with the type of radio, and the name will be recommend, and ID with a value of not sure, and value itself will be also not sure, and the label for attribute it will be not sure too. This is how we can have multiple radio on um, one field set, and then we can only select one of them basically. And if we can move to the next section, which here checkbox, let me just bring the code for the checkbox. Just let's I will have add more space down here, make it more readable. And the first here we have this paragraph just as a description for this area, and we have around 3 different input with the 3 labels. The first input is with a type of checkbox instead of radio. This as a checkbox. If you see down here, it's look different, and also has an ID, video length, and name of video length, and value of video length. And same for the label, will be have a for attribute with a value of video length, which should be match the input ID. And same for the second input, and with the type checkbox ID, it will be content quality, and name content quality, and also value content quality, with the label of for attribute, which will be having a value also content quality, which matching the previous input. And also the last input, it will be with the type of checkbox and ID, which has a value will be more videos, and name more videos, value itself should be having more videos, with the label of for attribute with the more videos. And this for this section, and very simple, it's not complex. We can move to next one, which will be for the text area. So for the text area here, just we have simple HTML text area with the label. So the label will be just describing the text area with the for loop of comment, and which is the text area also has the ID comment, so both of them they should match. And the text area has rows, around 4 rows, and you can add up more or less, it's up to you. And same as columns, so it's 50 columns. And I change slightly the text to be matching my channel survey instead of FreeCodeCamp. And the last one, it will be just the button, the submit button on the bottom of the form itself. This is a button, so it will have a type of submit, and ID submit, and value submit basically. That's very simple and easy. So this is how it looks like the HTML here down. So we are going to add a CSS to make it look like on the right screen. So let's just open the CSS area, and I already created the CSS. It's not too much. I will copy line by line to explain that. So first one will be the body. I'm going to apply this font family for all the content on the body basically. It will be applied for everything. You can use any font, so you can use this one or you can use the default one. It's up to you. This will be your own touch. And also the next one will be the main content class that we created. If you see here on the HTML or on the top, we created this class called main. So this will be for the full content. So I added a background image. If you see the background is being changed and updated, I brought this background from here, from just Google. You can write, for example, I was searching for coding background image. You can just do right click and then copy image address. And so if you go back here, and this just to finish explaining the CSS for this main, and has a position fixed to keep everything like we can scroll down up and just keep all the background fixed. And top will be 0, left 0, bottom 0, and right 0. This to take the full width and height. And color will be, it will be applying color for everything inside it, or for all its children to be for like a white color, and also with the overflow vertically will be a scroll. So basically we can scroll if you see now. And also with the font size 24, it will be applied for all the children 24. And if we move to next one, the next styling for the main, after I created just like a overlay to make it look gray. If you see now, it will be look more dark, and that's why we added here like after. We'll say main, then after main let's add the content with empty content, and the background will be just black with a gradient of like 80% of black, and color. And also the position will be fixed, and top 0, left 0, right 0, and bottom 0 to take the full screen width basically. And if we move to next one, which will be for the first title and the paragraph, just as a styling. So this will to make it first position as relative, and we giving index as 2 because the default index for the main will be 0, and then this 2 will be just above the main dark screen, and also has a font size 35, and the text center to move the text to center of the screen. If we move to the next one, which is main content class, if you see this main content class, we are going to apply style for it. Let's close that one. And this the main class content has a background gray, but it's not fully gray, and also has max width 650. I have chosen this number just randomly. You can choose any number, a proper number that you see. And also display flex and the flex direction column to bring all the stuff in one column and all the children in one column. And padding 40, so it will apply padding for all, like up down left right as 40 pixel, and margin up down 0, right left auto to bring the content itself to middle of the screen. And also margin button 40 to apply on the bottom here 40 pixel, and border radius 5 pixel. If you see here on the each corner, we'll just give it border radius 5 pixel. And that index, so to move itself above the main overflow, so basically we give it z index 2, and the position will be relative. To apply that index, you have to apply also position, so they can work together. And also I'm giving it a box shadow with this purple color to make it look a little bit more nicer, or that might touch. So if we move to next one, which will be just some of our input, adding styling for some of our inputs. If you see the first inputs, they are not look nice, but after adding this style, they should be changed. So if you see that now the input's changing, basically we by default the input will be displayed inline. We change it to be displayed blue, and width will take the full width, and height it will be 35 pixel. Just you can get your proper number for this. If you are happy with this, you can use it, otherwise you can change it. Padding also will be top down 5, right left 10 pixel, and the color will be black, and background color will be white, and border with border width it will be 1 pixel, and the type will be solid, and the color will be this sort of like gray. Border radius will be 5 pixels, so it will just apply border radius here to not be very sharp. Font size will be 20 pixel, and margin button for each one of these will be around 40 pixel to just give us more padding on the button of each input. So we can move. The next one will be these labels for these inputs. So set at 9. This is the labels. So now if you see label, each of these label have now margin button, just to leave some more space between the label and the input itself. And also display inline block, because by default the label will be displayed inline, and when the HTML element inline and you try to add a margin or a padding, it will not respect that and it will not use it properly. So you should give it an inline block to apply margin or padding for that element. So if we move to the next one, will be just some of if you scroll down here, if you see we have this radio and we have this checkbox. They are not look nice. I'm going to add another style to them. First, the selector will be with the ID of for these inputs. So this will be video length and content quality, more videos, and field set inputs. So all of these will take height 20 pixel, width 20 pixel, and margin right and bottom 15 pixel, just to give us more space between the text and the checkbox, and between the between radio and the text or the label, and also between the checkbox and the label, and down label too. So you can use the same number also, or you can use your own number. You don't have to stick to this. And the next here two element I'm going to bring before the last one. So just add new line. So this for we applying margin as min height for this comment. This will be for the text area. If you see before applying this, the text area was not have enough height, so now I'm giving it more height. You can also give it up to you more or less than 180. And also for that comment or the text area label, I'm giving it a margin top 30 pixels to leave some more space here. And for the last one, our button, if you see the button on the bottom of the screen is not look nice. This one here, this button, and just I'm going to add this last styling for it. So we're displaying the button to be block, and also we're adding width as full 100, and padding I'm going to change this, will be around 12. So 12 I think is the best one. It's just your own touch. It's not like you have to stick to this number. And also the background, this color is sort of like a green, sorry. And border radius will be 2 pixels, just to have here these corners to be not too sharp. And cursor, it will be pointer. So basically when you hover, it will be change the mouse to be pointer, and also the color white, and the font size will be 20 pixels. So basically this our right and left side page now looks similar. And how that being built and easy. I hope that was easy. I'm assuming easy and useful. So this your survey form, and yeah, so that's it basically. But before closing this, to test our test passing for all this, you can press run. First you need to select here survey form, and then run test and see. Woohoo! 17 tests are passed now.
Don't forget to press the subscribe button and enable the bell to get the latest change. Besides, if you like this video, press like button. That will support me to continue and uploading more videos. Also, do not forget to leave your comment about this video, or if you have any idea that needs me to do a video for. Thanks for watching.